The $20 million truth explodes. Fans rewrite the Jamie Dakota story overnight. One statement, one number, one night that changed everything. The internet was already unstable after Dakota Johnson admitted on live television that she and Jamie Dornan once shared a $20 million trilogy agreement, anchored by loyalty rather than passion. But no one, not fans, not reporters, not even Hollywood itself, was prepared for what happened next. Because when Jamie Dornan finally shared his side of the story, adding context, fear, sacrifice, and near departure from the franchise, everything the world thought it knew about Jamie Dakota flipped upside down. Rumors died. Fantasy softened. And a new picture began to form, one built not on romance, but on endurance, partnership, and survival. By sunrise, the entire internet had rewritten the narrative. The explosion, social media in full collapse. The moment Jamie said the words, "I almost left before her," millions froze. This wasn't just confirmation of Dakota's claim, it was expansion. Within 6 hours. Twitter, X logged 82M mentions. TikTok hit 3.5 billion views under hashtag 20 million truth. Reddit servers crashed under fan analysis threads. Fan pages rebranded overnight. And the most shocking shift? Jamie and Dakota were no longer talked about as lovers, but as allies. Meme pages that once used heart emojis replaced them with shields and armor. Edits that once showcased steamy scenes now highlighted interviews, eye contact, panic in premieres, the pressure behind smiles. Fans wrote. They weren't in love, they were in war. We shipped a fantasy, they lived a battlefield. Respect over romance, this is the new story. In a single night, millions of imaginations matured. Fan culture evolves, from shipping to respecting. For nearly a decade, Jamie Dakota fandom was emotional, obsessive, hungry for romantic confirmation. But something unprecedented happened in the hours after the double revelations. Shipping culture matured into empathy culture. Instead of screaming, "They belong together," the new chorus became, "They survived together. They trusted each other. They were partners in pressure, not passion." A shift never before recorded in Hollywood history. The myth wasn't destroyed. It simply evolved. Fans no longer mourned the love they wanted. They admired the loyalty they never noticed. The new hero narrative, Jamie Dornan, protector not lover. Jamie's confession hit a global nerve. Not because he denied romance, but because he admitted fear. When he said, "I promised because I was afraid she would face it alone," every narrative thread changed. He was no longer the man who might have loved Dakota secretly, the cold figure in tabloid triangles, the character fans projected fantasy onto. He became a friend who refused to abandon another, a partner in chaos, not in romance, a human, terrified but loyal. Twitter wrote essays. TikTok made documentaries. Fan artists illustrated their partnership like soldiers in the same trench. Jamie wasn't a romantic lead anymore. He was a guardian. Dakota Johnson, the woman who finally exhaled. Dakota's simple message, "Now it's whole," became the emotional symbol of the shift. For years, she was misread as the woman who loved him secretly or lost him tragically. Now fans realized. She wasn't longing. She was carrying weight. She was surviving with him, not for him. And in group chats worldwide, fans typed, "Dakota wasn't the heartbroken girl, she was the warrior too. She stayed not for romance, but because two stayed stronger than one." The world stopped needing Jamie Dakota to be lovers. They accepted them as teammates who bled on the same battlefield. Night versus morning, 12 hours that rewired history. Before the reveal, they should have ended up together. Amelia was the obstacle. Dakota still loves him. After the reveal, Amelia was never the enemy. There was no triangle, only survival. Dakota is not unfinished love, she is completed truth. The public narrative didn't just shift. It matured. Fans who once fought each other now stood united. Respect replaced fantasy. Understanding replaced projection. Hollywood had never seen anything like it. Fan projects ignite, not love stories, but testimonies. Overnight, creators launched projects worldwide. A 2-hour fan documentary, Surviving Grey, The Truth Beneath the Franchise. Wattpad rebranded from romance fanfic to memoir-style retellings. YouTube analysts broke down old interviews with new eyes. Fan merch replaced hearts with shields saying loyalty over legend. The internet didn't just absorb the reveal. It transformed with it. For the first time ever, fandom chose reality over romance. Emotional fallout, the world apologizes to Amelia Warner. Perhaps the greatest rewrite happened around the one woman who spent years in shadow. Amelia Warner. The internet finally saw her. Not as rivalry. Not as replacement. But as the woman Jamie protected through silence. Thousands of comments appeared. We misunderstood you. You're not the other woman, you were always the real woman. And in a poetic twist, fan pages formerly titled Jamie Dakota Forever changed to Jamie Dakota Amelia, 3 humans, 1 story of survival. The love triangle dissolved into a line of mutual respect. Hollywood responds, studios rewrite future deals. The industry felt the quake. Producers suddenly realized something terrifying. Truth sells more than fantasy. Within 48 hours, Netflix reportedly drafted a docu-series offer. A-list directors requested Jamie for emotional biographical scripts. Dakota was approached for projects about resilience, not romance. Amelia received inquiries for scoring films about fame psychology. Not a scandal. Not a breakup. Not a love reveal. A survival story was now the hottest commodity in Hollywood. And so, the fans rebuilt the legend properly this time. When morning arrived, the world had rewritten the Jamie Dakota mythology. Not lovers torn apart. Not destiny unfulfilled. Not tragic almost romance. But something stronger. 2 actors who survived $20 million worth of pressure. Together, side by side, not heart to heart. In 12 hours, the internet evolved from fantasy to respect. And the legend was finally correct. The new narrative the world now believes. They didn't fall in love, they fell in war. They didn't kiss, they endured. They weren't lovers, they were comrades. And for the first time ever, that reality meant more than the fantasy ever did.